Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. So we had some conversations that we had. So this is the translation of the conversations that I had with her. The message reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My name is Mighty Nashe, not a real name, and I am not proud of what I have become. To even think that I am a deacon at church, and I do encourage people to always come to church. When people are facing problems in their lives, I always encourage them to pray. But yet, from the village from where I come from, I was even taken to the village court, and I was told that I needed to throw away those things that were finishing my family. This was after there was something that happened when my mother passed away. I was the one who had an argument with my mother, and after we had that argument, that was when I sent these things that I use. So some of the people, they call it chidoma or otokoloshi, but some they call it Zvishiri. So this is another form of a tokoloshi. Usually it would be like a bed, a terrifying bed of the night that I use to harm people and sometimes to get what I want. Currently, I am staying in a foreign land and I do not want you to share my numbers with anyone. And there are times when I do these things whereby I end up not even caring about the consequences. Sometimes I can just feel guilty after the person would have died. So I got this spirit of witchcraft from my own grandmother. My grandmother, if you would mess up with her, she'll just snap her fingers and she'll be like, before sunset, you are going to die. And you were going to die if you would have messed up with my grandmother, unless you come to her and ask for her forgiveness. Now I am living a chaotic life, trying to live two lives. At night, I am a witch. During the day, I am a professional. In this country where I am staying and I have a car, a house, no one can even suspect that this woman who looks so professional, she is a witch at night, always haunted by these evil spirits, always calling me to wake up, to go and join up with the others that I go around bewitching other people with. It did not even start like this. I was once just a young woman. We were living in Murewa, where I come from. I had a good family, I had friends, a boyfriend, and a decent life. But as time went on, I think that the bitterness came when my boyfriend, after sleeping with me, he dumped me and he started dating this other girl from the same school where I was going to, called Ropa Fadzo. So this woman was trying to steal my boyfriend, and I then went and I reported the matter to my grandmother. My grandmother said that we can just kill her and we can feed her flesh to my tokoloshis. And that was when I found out that my grandmother, she had these creatures. She introduced those creatures to me one by one until I managed to win over my boyfriend. Because he had betrayed me, I did not want him anymore. I did not want a man that I'll keep on using charms on him over and over again. That was when I dumped him after killing Ropa. Then I started staying with my husband. My husband, whom I'll call Tinashe, also left me for a younger woman, but the humiliation, it was too much. At that time, that was when my grandmother said, allow the darkness to take over your life. Just allow the darkness to take over your life. And indeed, I wanted revenge. I wanted to make Tinashe and his new wife to suffer, to feel the pain that I was carrying. That was when my grandmother gave me my first creature, my first evil creature, Zvishiri. I had heard stories about some kids, especially the young kids. They are the ones that are always affected by these evil creatures. So my grandmother, when she gave me that creature, I was really surprised. This creature, then my grandmother made me to eat part of its flesh. So this bird that was given to me by my grandmother when you eat its flesh, the flesh will grow back. So this made it possible for this creature to be able to possess my body at night. So from there on, I started going around visiting different traditional healers, because what happens is that when you are a witch, sometimes you go maybe into a Christian's home, then you find out that the person has a guardian angel that protects them. It's not like you see the angel all the times. Sometimes you can just feel like a heavenly presence, and you will be unable to touch the person that you want to bewitch. So you run to another witch doctor that is powerful. So my grandmother, when she passed away, she only left me with one creature that she left for me, this evil bird. The other ones, they were taken by some of the people that had given her those creatures, the tokologies that she was using. Then after that, I started going around. I went to this other traditional healer. When I went to him, that was when he gave me this other bottle. So inside that bottle, there is some powdered charms. So these powdered charms, it can help me to direct these creatures that I now own. If I want someone to face spiritual problems at work, you being hated by your bosses, in your marriage, or even those type of disorders which makes a man not to be able to perform in bed. So I go to that person's home, and what I do is that I open that bottle, then I will start to sprinkle the powder near the person's home, and then I will walk away. And I know that once they step on that powder, it will take away their peace, their joy, and they will suffer, and you will have your revenge. So I asked that traditional healer, how does he make the charms? So he told me that these evil birds, if they eat the flesh of a human after someone would have died, then we just release them so that they can go and feast upon that person. Then after they would have eaten, when they digest, so they would do those bed droppings. So that traditional healer said that that is how he makes these charms. So Brother Nashi, when I even came to this land where I am staying, I started working for this other international organization. At first, I did not have a high-ranking position, but with time, some of those that were superior to me, I started bewitching them. I would take my bottle and bring it to work, and I would just make sure that when those people are not in their offices, I would go and I would sprinkle even on the office chair, on the desk, wherever. Then people started dying one by one, and each and every time that someone would have died, it's either I would bring in my own relative, or I would make sure that I get that promotion. But the other problem that I am facing in my life that I can't fix, I have this other child of mine whom I'll call Tawanda. So he is suffering from epileptic seizures, and just like I make other kids to suffer from epileptic seizures, I know that there is someone, but I do not know who exactly did this. Someone went and they did a go back to sender on me. So when this go back to sender was done on me, since I am someone that is spiritually strong, that person could not make me to that person. So the go back to sender prayers that were done on me, they could not affect me. So that is why my son is suffering. This is my own confession. I just want to give a strong warning to people out there. You might be at work. Do not judge the book by its cover. You'll say that this person is really soft, and that person, even if I mess up with them, they will never bewitch me, even in church. But what you need to know is that we do come from different places, and you do not know exactly the kind of a life that I lived before you started knowing me. So I really do not like people to mess up with me. I hope that it will send a strong warning to other people. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. So that was the translation of the conversations that I had with her. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.